Good afternoon, sir. I am pleased to present you today my oral presentation with the title of Solutions for the Two Biggest Problems in the World. We will talk about famine and malnutrition as well as climate change, as I personally consider the two biggest problems facing our society today. So, with all the multifaceted problems in the world today, it is difficult to say which ones are more important than others. However, it's imperative to prioritize certain issues in order to dedicate sufficient resources to combat the world's major problems that can be solved. Gonzalez's study found the following. Although the diversity between and within Latin America countries is immense, the region has structurally similarities such as low trust in government and despair in terms of individual opportunities. It has also been historically marked by high levels of instability, having experienced a convoluted oscillation between public power, which is exercised by the government, and private power, which is available to be market. As we see in the image, we do not contemplate some other problems that affect our society, such as energy, health, security, prosperity, governance, and so on. So let's talk about our first problem, that is hunger and malnutrition. Well, this is our biggest problem contemplated, which is, according to the UNICEF, malnutrition is a global problem where many children who have never been affected by famine and malnourished are malnourished. The continued lack of minimum energy requirements to cope with their growth and their day-to-day life, and diseases that hinder the absorption of vitamins and minerals are responsible for 1 in 3 infants' deaths in the world. The FINOT organization explains that currently agriculture has the objective of facing the challenge of hunger and malnutrition due to the greater use of natural resources, which is causing a loss of the biodiversity. Agroecology is based on the application of ecological concepts and principles with the aim of optimizing the interactions between plants, animals, and humans. This science supports food production, food security, and nutrition, offering its services and restoring the biodiversity of the ecosystem. As we can see in figure number 2, hunger and malnutrition are seen very frequently in countries like Angola, who is an African country with a large population in a state of poverty. Just as we can see in figure number 3, where Ghana population are enjoying a little food that is served at their table. So continuing with our biggest problems, we have another of the biggest problem detected, that is climate change at a global level, affecting everything related to biodiversity. According to the United Nations organization, we are at the war's head moment in successfully tackling the greatest challenge of our time, climate change. Every day in different parts of the world geography, the planet sends us message about the enormous transformation it is undergoing. From changing weather patterns that threaten food production to rising sea levels that increase the risk of catastrophic floods. If drastic measures are not taken now, it will be much more difficult and expensive to adapt to its effects in the future. Hurst and Cereceda said that experts estimate that the next decade will be a challenge, but with urgent actions, the consequences will be able to be mitigated. One of the keys will be adaptation. They say reducing emissions to limit global warming is also crucial for many of the solutions outlined. For example, coral reef restoration options may be ineffective if global warming exceeds 1.5 grades centigrade, because corals are already at high risk at current levels of warming. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions will limit impacts on oceans ecosystems that provide us with food, supports our health, and shape our cultures, said Hans Otto Partner, co-chair of EPCC Working Group Number 2. In figure 4 on the left, we see a forest burning, probably due to the bad action of a human unaware of the damage. And in figure number 5, we can see how much our future can change if we don't take climate change seriously. Now, for conclusion, I want to citate Earth.org, who concluded that while these are some of the biggest environmental problems plaguing our planet, there are many more that have not been mentioned, included overfishing, urban sprawl, toxic superfund sites, and land use change. While there are many facets that need to be considered in formulating a response to the crisis, that must be coordinated, practical, and far-reaching enough to make enough of a difference. And now, as we can see in figure number 6, there is a polar bird arriving to London that we should be aware of that. Now, below you can see the list of reference on the information that I use. As well as the reference used for the citation of all the image in this presentation. That has been my entire presentation. I hope that the writing of it has been to your liking, and I cordially say goodbye. Thanks.